we're go over the single pivot point again. We never want to turn with 2 feet, never. So like, if you're doing the Shihonage, you'll see here, and then they'll do 2 feet. No, this is wrong. And always have to single pivot point, single pivot point, single pivot point, single pivot point. Boom, double pivot, no. Single pivot, single pivot, single pivot. Okay, so let's try that drill, just from the Shiho Nage Ura. Okay. Okay, so maybe I wasn't clear. This isn't how to do Shiho Nage Ura. I don't do it like this, okay? But Federites do. So Federites do their double pivot. Okay? I don't do that. So this is a drill, not Shiho Nage Ura. So I'm going to single pivot. Rotation has stopped. There's no more rotation when I step back. I just step back. And I have to bring her into position. That's what I do there. Then I shift, single pivot again. So just a drill on single pivot. Okay? Enter, single pivot. Step back, straight back. Bring her with you, shift your weight back. Then shift forward, single pivot. All rotation out. Movement is straight back. Okay? Let's try some. You can hold that in that. Just hold it. Alright, so let's define double pivot. And double pivot, obviously when you use both feet to rotate, that's going to be double pivot. So if I go here and then both feet turn, that's a double pivot. But let's define it kinesiologically. Double pivot is anytime I rotate and my line of gravity is in the middle of my basis support elements. So my line of gravity is a perpendicular line traveling from my center of gravity to the ground. So when you turn on both feet, your line of gravity is in the, can you replace? Your line of gravity is in the middle. That's what makes it double pivot, okay? You're double pivoting on the first move. So when you turn, you're on both feet. The line of gravity is in the middle. So your first turn on you is the double pivot. You have to shift your weight onto one leg. You can go back or you can go forward, but you always turn on one leg. Do you see how I'm doing that? Not 2 legs. So sometimes here, and then I go forward, I'm on that leg. Do you see? In this move, I enter, and that's when I shift, and that's when I turn. And I'm on the other leg. The line of gravity is over that foot, which is why this foot can slide back and forth, stay in place, whatever. There's no weight on it. I'm on one foot. So the line of gravity is on that foot. I step back, I reset the drill, I'm going to move again onto that foot, and that's where I turn. And again, I'm on that foot with the line of gravity. So we do the drill, me, shift onto the front foot, all weight is there. Step back, no rotation, you see, no rotation. You don't want to turn with the line of gravity between your feet. You can linearly move, that's what I did there. Boom, shift, rotate. Boom, all rotation done. Then line of gravity can go in the middle. Shift, turn. Okay, try it again. A very common thing is you use one foot to turn the other foot. That's why people double pivot. So here you are. It's going to look the same, but you're going to turn this foot. You're going to use this foot to turn that foot. That's a double pivot. So all your weight is going to go onto this foot. There's nothing on this foot. And that's where this foot turns. This foot. Boom. Off. Off. Turn. Boom. Take weight off of that foot. Turn. Boom. Turn. Boom. Turn. Boom. Turn. Boom. Turn. Okay? That's closer to it than here. Double pivot. Cosmetically shift weight. Boom. Off. Don't push into the turn. Boom. Turn. Okay? Try it. There's two reasons why you want to single pivot, not double pivot, and they're interrelated. Okay? The first one is I am going to change the cross vector at which the rotation happens. So for example, if we're here and I pivot on both feet, the grip in relation to where my center is, I am going to always be on the front side of the grip. So I have this kind of pull to what I'm doing. This way. Or I move my hand to here. It's there on my center, my hand, but she's still way over there on that side, and it turns into a pull about there. You feel that?
Yes.
And when I single point pivot, I get to the other side of that. So let's look. Obviously, we'll mark my elbow, okay, and my yang line. It is on this side, the east side of the grip. She is completely on the west side of the grip. When I shift my weight, all of a sudden my elbow is on the other side of the grip. My shoulder is on the other side of the grip. So I'm pivoting with more of a push than the pull. More of a push. If she throws a strike here, and I go here, and I tenkon, you can see the deviation is happening over here. On the other one, I get to the other side, the deviation is happening over here. So I Tenkon, I'm in the back, as opposed to not quite there. So what I'm doing here with a single point pivot is I'm moving from the negative side of the circle to the positive side of the circle in my angle of deviation, okay? And that changes my energy into a pushing energy versus a pulling energy. And that is important for the second point. When you use a pulling energy on a rotation, eventually that pulling energy, the equal and opposite reaction, is going to cut through the shikaku of your stance, of your double pivot stance. And you're going to feel very weak. You're going to feel unable to hold your balance against resistance. Now this problem is neutralized by the Federite Uke, who will never pull on you, okay? But every once in a while you still see them mess up and you see the Nage lose their balance, okay? So if she's doing, if she's going to do the double pivot Tenkon, can you do that? No, that's, just swing your foot around. That one. This is very common, okay? Do it again. That, okay? This is what Tenkon is for everyone in the Federite world. So our Tenkon is she has to shift her weight onto here. All the rotation happens there. And then this is a tactical repositioning of one's person. The other one, the line of gravity is in the middle of the feet as they swing around this way. That's a double pivot, okay? So if I have, let's do the R version, okay? So she's gonna single pivot and try to get as much as she can on the other side of that circle so she can push this hand forward. And I'm gonna try to pull her. I'm trying to pull her this way, okay? She got some pull in there, and there should be no pull in there, okay? So this is what I was saying, you were double pivoting, okay? So here's what it is. You start pulling on me. You see that? Because my line of gravity here, that's the pull. So when you pull on me, pull back on me, I can't turn. Do you see that? If I push here and you pull back on me, it's not me going this way because we're turning that way. You see? So let's watch the difference. I'll try it again. And I don't know what angle is going to show it, okay? Because my mass is always on the negative side of the circle in the double pivot, you going straight is here, right there. If I change that to a pull, you going back, eventually I am fighting that. Do you see that? And I can't turn. And the more I take this away, pull, the more I lose that integrity. On the other one, there's no pullability, you see? And I Tenkon into free space, okay? There's no rotation that I'm using with my line of gravity in between my 2 feet, okay? So let's see if we can clean you up. You gotta get completely to the other side and on 1 foot. So you gotta step over here, turn all the way, don't try to pull me. You wanna go push me. You wanna push me, not pull me. Do it, please. You're trying to pull me. Your arm's going to come in because this is an outward spiral movement. Okay? Good. There's no, I fall into a void. Okay? Now let's do the other one. First, let me see you do the other one. Go. Yes. And you'll feel, as you start to go, you're going to feel it right here. You see? Okay? And the more you separate your feet into tenkan, the more you can't do it. Okay? So if we were doing shihonage, you can grip and you do that other tenkan, the wrong tenkan, here you're never going to get it. Okay? And every time you try to pull me, if I'm just bigger than you try to pull me, you're not going to get it. You get weaker, you see? Okay? So that's what we're accomplishing or getting rid of when we never do that. Okay? I'm always going to single pivot. So in the drill that we were doing in the Shihonage prep, I don't want to go like that because that's where the pulling energy, her pulling, is cutting through my base right here. It's no different than if she grabbed my collar and pulled me where I had no base. That's the same thing here when you double pivot. Instead, I go under, pass it. Boom. We're now in our Shihonage prep drill. So I can enter, then single, other side. Boom. Enter, boom, single, other side. Boom, boom, wrong. Right. Right. Wrong. Okay, let's do the Shihonage prep.